Hey everybody, we've got a new hero in Overwatch. It's Hero 29. Her name is Ashe. She's got an ultimate named Bob. I think I've already said enough to make everybody interested, but this video is going to take a big look at her in the PTR right now as of today. And it's everything. We're going to go over her abilities here at the training grounds in just a second. We're going to do some matches against AI, matches against actual humans. And I set up a private match for us to look at the ultimates in combos and all that. So anyway, this is the first look at her right here, and her primary fire is, as you can see, not huge damage, but definitely moderate. It's good for DPS. Primary fire, of course, not the most accurate thing ever, but as you can see there, she has a scope that is much more accurate, slower reload time, slower rate of fire, I guess, but it's great if you can combine the two of them together, the primary and secondary fire. I think I do a little bit later. You can see I get like a headshot to the primary and then scope secondary, 2 shots, the bots are down. So it's pretty good, and I feel kind of like a Destiny person, honestly, when it's when I'm looking down the sides here. But that's about it. So one of the other things I wanted to point out though about her reload. Oh, okay. By the way, this right here is one of her secondary abilities. Forgot to go over those. That's called Dynamite, and basically it's on a fuse. You throw it wherever you want, and it does damage over time to those in the area, including yourself, so be careful about that. But if you want to activate it faster, if you shoot the Dynamite with high accuracy and aim, then it'll go off at the time you shoot it, and you don't have to wait for the fuse to go down. The other ability she has right there is the, I forget what it's called, but it's like a secondary gun that puts distance between your nearby enemies and yourself, and you can use it to take advantage of mobility options to get on high ground quickly or something like that, or to get, for example, a charging Rhine out of the way or something like that. So it's pretty good, and you'll see her ultimate here not too long. His name is Bob. He's an Omnic, and he's fantastic. More on him later. But for right now, it's a really good DPS, honestly. It's primary fire, secondary fire, it's all good. So I'm just going to be quiet for a minute, and we'll see what happens next, and then we'll get into the later part of it as we go.
Bob, do something.
So as you just saw with Bob there, he's pretty good on his own. He doesn't need a whole lot of help. But even if he does get some help, that just makes it even more explosive. So he's definitely one to watch. And as far as ultimates go, but I also forgot to mention the reloads. One of the things that's interesting about that is that, as you can see, she has 12 ammo at one time. She can reload, and you're probably going to be doing a lot of that with Ashe, but you can cut it off too. So if you watch the counter at some, like right now, but at later points too, she doesn't have to, when she starts reloading, you can cut it off. So if you're down to your last bullet and you need to start reloading, you can just click to shoot, or you're aim down sights after she's loaded 2, and then you can go again. So in an intense like 1v1 situation, when you're stuck reloading, you don't have to wait the full time if you're like 1 shot away. You can just let it reload 1 and then go for it, and if you're close enough with your shot, you can get it. Alright, so as you could see there, for a second I did put down the... This is, again, just me warming up, getting used to the feel of her. What you're seeing here is... all of this is pretty much the first time I've done her. She just came out today on the PTR, but this is all new stuff, so... Training grounds is mostly me just getting used to everything. By the way, if you're looking to skip to the next part, it's roughly 6 minutes into the video is where we get into the match against the AI, I believe, is next. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know about Ashe or Bob or the ultimates or anything that we go over in this video. Of course, you can put it in the comments. I'll get back with you there. Or anywhere else if you want to send a tweet or whatever you want to do. Let me know. So, like, the range on her primary fire is not bad. It loses accuracy, of course, the farther away you are, but it is definitely a higher rate of fire. That's pretty good. So it just depends on situations, but that's what I like about her. Long term, she's got the scope. She can do a nice amount of damage. Well, I said long term, I meant long range. And then, of course, short range, it's higher rate of fire, still pretty decent damage, and when you are short range, the accuracy isn't as big of a deal. So it's a pretty nice combo. I really like the gun, and it's called Viper. And if you saw Jeff Kaplan's update video, they spent a lot of time on it trying to get it right, and I think they did. It looks like Red Dead Redemption meets Destiny, but it's pretty cool, and that's not a bad thing.
Smoke 'em out of there.
One other thing I guess I'll go ahead and just say now before we get to the next part. I am really looking forward to seeing Ashe when she's released to the main game. Not only because I think she's going to have a very interesting place in this meta, and probably most metas, honestly. But I'm really going to be interested in Season 2 of the Overwatch League to see people like Surefour, Carpe, Linkser, see these guys, how they interpret her in the strategic team setting. Because, like this right here, the Dynamite option, if you do it right, I could see that being a pretty good counter to Brig, perhaps. And in certain circumstances with the alt economies we'll go over toward the end of the video, there are a couple interesting things as far as how Ashe could play into other alts, or how other pick, like if Ashe becomes a regular pick, you might see other heroes who are good to counter her get picked more. So it's going to be interesting. We'll get toward that at the end. This right here, though, is in a match versus the AI, and it's just a couple highlights to go through so you can see how she plays against other characters. Now, these are all hard bots, so like Soldier on hard, Lucio on hard, of course, all that. So, and again, be a little bit forgiving, please, because this is my first time using her in a match like this. This part I'll be mostly quiet just because it's just a look at how she'll play against different types of characters. These are just bots. I'll do a little bit later, go over a match with actual humans too, real quick, not much, because it's a little bit crazy right now with her being just released today. But this is just a look at how she is in a different couple of her environments. So we'll have a look at this, and then we'll go over the rest later. So quiet for me. I'll be back talking later.
Don't mess with me. Come on. Bob, do something. Bob, do something.
Quick aside here. Bob always goes wherever you point him, so be careful not to point him up a hallway, as you can see I did, where he's no good, essentially.
Not letting that stand. Don't mess.
Огонь по готовности!
So this right here is a look at a match versus actual humans. I had to make it mystery heroes, because if not, there's no way I get to play as Ashe versus other people, or everybody would be Ashe. So I basically waited until I got a chance on mystery heroes, and it didn't go too terribly well, as you'll see here. She's still vulnerable to Brig, especially if there's no healing on her or anything. So I might not have done it quite right, but so this part right here, I just went ahead and made a custom game, so we can take a look at her ultimate versus others, and how other ultimates affect Bob, and so on. Bob is a pretty powerful ultimate, just because he's like a turret that can be nano boosted with 1200 health. I think that says enough, and he can direct where it goes initially. After he stops moving,
Hey.
there's nothing he can do, but you point him in a certain direction and he will just go until he hits something. So don't point it toward the edge of a map. First things first, I'd like to thank Chicken Face for helping me with this. He was the first one to join this private match, and he wanted to see if Genji could deflect Bob's shots, I guess. So we'll take a look at that here, see if it can. And I mean, spoiler alert, it can, as you probably would expect, but after that, Genji alone is not even a match for 1200 Bob health-wise, so prepare to hear a lot of Bob do something, by the way. So D.Va's ult, as you can see, does quite a bit of damage to everybody, of course, but Bob is vulnerable. So if you have other teammates on your side, he's stationary. So if we can get some type of shield with the ult, you're pretty good.
Meteor strike.
So Ryan's shield here definitely takes a brunt of the damage if you can get up close to him. But the best thing that you can do, as you'll see here in a second, is when you have the opportunity to Earth Shatter. Now, his charge, again, only does so much, but if you're willing to sacrifice yourself in a bad situation, you can charge off a map or something like that to make a difference. Or if you just want to charge him out of a certain area, that works as well. So as you can see, Ashe is definitely going to be able to get out of that, oh, I forget what it's called, but May's ult. And Bob can be frozen by it. So if you're careful and you play your cards right, even a single May can survive Bob and even deal some significant damage.
Bob, do something!
Bastion solo ult against Bob, not going to work. If you heal consistently, that helps, but still. Since you get stunned when you are Roadhog with the hook, you can't get your way out of that one because there's nothing. You can't press any buttons because you're stunned. You can get right back out of it before you get shot, perhaps, but that's going to be about it. Roadhog solo ult against Bob, nope. I was wondering if you could get out of Zarya's ult here, Graviton Surge. The answer is no. I guess there's not enough burst or something. However, you can call in Bob, and he will still do a lot of damage. So, depending on what, he'll be part of the Graviton pool, but still. Moira, not worth it.
Do something!
Lucio's ult. Now, again, if you have other teammates with you shooting at him, it might make a difference, but no.
Squid needs more seasoning.
We didn't cover every hero, by the way, but we just got the ones that seem to be pretty notable as far as what would happen. Hanzo's ult, especially because Bob is stationary, that will definitely make him go away.
Hey.
Reapers, however, again, his is good because he's kind of invincible while he's doing it, pretty much. And it does some damage, but you gotta combo with other people if you want to make him stop. Pharah's ult, you have to be close. If you're far away, the spread is too much, you will die. But if you're close as Pharah, you can make it go away again. You can say, Bob, go away. Sombra is, in my opinion, the best one to go against. Because even though you can't hack him because you'll be shot, EMP. Look how much damage Sombra alone is doing with an EMP. She practically got Bob. So if you combo with any other person doing damage, Sombra is where it's at. Molten Core is also pretty good because Bob is stationary. So the new ults for Torb alone got him because he can't get out of it. Now, Brig, you'll see, survives easily against Bob. She only does so much damage, partly because her ult 2 was helping. Not quite half, but combo with an actual DPS with Brig, like Sombra and Brig together, you're pretty set. Don't even try to Mercy, by the way. I only put this in there to demonstrate. It is not going to be a good idea to Valkyrie and Bob's. Bob's pretty good at getting rid of the mines, as you can see. So he's basically a counter to Wrecking Ball's ult if he gets in the same area. Now, Widowmaker. This one's pretty interesting because now the chicken face had to duck and dodge to get it, but as you'll see, she does get Bob. So if you're far enough away that he's focusing on other people, you can do some nice damage and take care of Bob that way as well. Now here we're just trying to go crazy. We're trying to combo Bob's and Nano Boost one, sleep the other, and just see what happens with Grenade 2. So this is the result.
Do something.
Lights off.
By this point, by the way, we had other people joining in and helping out. So Nano Boosted Bob is kind of OP. Alright, well that is about it for this. Sorry, I have like really crappy software right now on my new computer for hopefully it turns out okay. Hopefully you get the idea for Ashe to try to kind of get everything in here as quick as I could. If you have any questions, again, put it in the comments. I'll be happy to get back with you about everything. Ashe is a great hero. I cannot wait to see her in the game. It's going to be awesome. And hopefully you enjoy this. Let me know.
Nanoboost administered.
Ashe here.